Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, slipped on a dress you once adored, and suddenly felt like it just didn't belong to you anymore? It's not because you've lost your style. And it's definitely not because of your age. It's because you've evolved. You've grown wiser, more confident, and beautifully unapologetic. But your wardrobe hasn't quite caught up yet. Here's the thing. Fashion after 50 isn't about chasing trends or trying to fit into something that no longer feels right. It's not about piling on what's in just to keep up. Fashion at this stage is about reflection. It's about wearing pieces that show the world exactly who you are today. Elegant, powerful, and completely unforgettable. But here's where many of us get stuck. We keep holding on to clothes that quietly work against us. Dresses that once made us feel fabulous now feel outdated. Necklines that hide our best features. Prints that drown us out instead of lifting us up. And those little details, they can add years without us even realizing it. But here's the good news, it's not your fault. And it's 100% fixable. In this video, I'm not here to give you a list of strict don'ts. Instead, we're going to uncover 7 common fashion mistakes women over 50 make. And more importantly, I'll show you simple, elegant solutions that will make you look and feel younger, lighter, and more confident without ever losing your sophistication. You'll see why. One small change in hemline can instantly make you look 5 years younger. The right neckline can frame your face and make it glow. No extra makeup required. And how the power of less is more can transform your entire look into something effortlessly chic. And stay with me until the very end, because I'm sharing a style secret that elegant women across America quietly use to look polished and timeless. A subtle change no one can pinpoint, but everyone notices. So, if you've been craving that moment when someone looks at you and says, "I can't put my finger on it, but you look incredible," then this is your time. Because age doesn't limit your style. It defines it. And today, we're going to unlock it. Together. I still remember my 40s, when my legs were toned, and I wore mini dresses with pride. Back then, I loved the confidence they gave me. But at 62, one morning in front of the mirror, I had a different realization. The dress hadn't changed. I had. And honestly, I'm not alone. A recent AARP survey in 2024 revealed that 68% of women over 55 feel less confident in dresses that are too short. It's not because their bodies have failed them. Far from it. It's because ultra-short hemlines can throw off our proportions, pull the eye downward, and sometimes make us look like we're holding on to an old version of ourselves. And considering that the average height for women in their 50s and 60s is about 5'4", even a few extra inches of hem can make a world of difference in how tall and elegant you appear. So, let me ask you, do you still wear minis because you truly love them, or because you've been wearing them for decades and never questioned it? And when was the last time someone genuinely complimented you in a dress that wasn't above the knee? Let me tell you a story. My dear friend Mary, 62, vibrant, full of life, was a die-hard mini dress fan. For her birthday, I gifted her a navy midi dress with a subtle 6-inch side slit. When she put it on, the transformation was stunning. Her silhouette looked longer, her face brighter, and, no exaggeration, at least 7 people at the party told her she looked 5 years younger. Here's the thing, a few extra inches of fabric didn't hide her beauty. They framed it. A midi hemline didn't make Mary look older. It gave her elegance, polish, and that effortless sophistication that turns heads without trying. And there's science behind this. According to Style Consultancy US, midi-length dresses, just at or slightly below the knee, create a vertical line that elongates your frame, especially when paired with pointed-toe shoes, or shoes in the same color as your dress. And if you're worried about looking too covered, a tasteful slit, around 4-6 inches, adds movement, a little intrigue, and mature femininity without overexposure. Here's what I want you to try. Take 2 dresses out of your closet, 1 mini and 1 midi. Put them on, take full-length photos, and ask yourself, which one actually reflects the woman I am today? I promise you'll see it. Sometimes the difference between dated and timeless is only a few inches of fabric. And if you think the hemline is the only thing silently aging you, just wait. Because next, we're talking about the designs hiding in your closet that might be adding years without you even realizing it. We've all got one of those dresses. The memory dress. You know the one. It's been sitting in your closet for years, maybe even decades. You keep it because it once made you feel amazing, or because it feels safe, familiar, almost like an old friend. But here's the truth. Just because it was perfect back then, doesn't mean it still works for you now. According to the Fashion and Confidence Report 2024, 72% of women over 60 admit they still hold on to dresses that are outdated, even though they no longer flatter their body or reflect their style. And what happens? Those dresses don't just sit in the closet. They quietly pull your image backward, making you look like you're stuck in time, when in reality, you've grown, evolved, and deserve so much more. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I had this old boxy shift dress I wore on repeat. It was comfortable, predictable, and I told myself, why change what works? But one day, I put it on, looked in the mirror and thought, this isn't me anymore. So, I took a risk. I swapped that dress for a navy wrap dress with a subtle diagonal cut, and suddenly, everything changed. The compliments came instantly. You look so modern, but still so elegant. And it wasn't just the dress. It was the way I stood taller, smiled bigger, and finally felt like my outside matched who I was inside. And it's not just me. My friend Clara, 68, had a similar experience. She used to live in those straight-down shift dresses that hid everything. But for her granddaughter's graduation, I convinced her to try a soft A-line wrap dress. The moment she walked into the room, people noticed. One guest even whispered, Clara, you look incredible. What's your secret? And you know what? Her secret wasn't expensive. It was simply saying goodbye to the past and dressing for the woman she is today. Here's why it works. A-line dresses skim your body and create effortless movement. Wrap dresses define the waist in the most natural, flattering way. Diagonal cuts add a touch of modern structure while elongating your frame. Now, let me ask you this. When was the last time you looked at one of your favorite dresses and asked, would I actually buy this if I saw it in a store today? Is it truly your style? Or just a habit you've held on to for years? What would happen if you replaced just one memory dress with a fresh, modern piece? Here's what the numbers say. The Style Insight 2024 survey found that 68% of women over 60 felt instantly more confident after swapping an outdated dress for a modern A-line or wrap dress. Meanwhile, only 27% said they still rely on boxy, old-fashioned styles, most of them admitting they do it purely for comfort, not because it makes them feel beautiful. So here's my challenge for you. Go to your closet. Pull out that one dress you've been holding onto for years and ask yourself, is this me today? Or is this who I used to be? Then just try one modern alternative. I promise you, the difference will not only show up in the mirror, you'll feel it in the way you carry yourself. And once you see that transformation, we're not stopping there, because the next step might be the most powerful one of all, rediscovering your waist. Let's be honest, ladies. How many of us have a closet full of loose, shapeless dresses because they feel safe? We slip them on, tell ourselves, at least nothing is clinging, and move on with our day. But here's the thing. That comfort often comes with a cost. It erases your shape entirely, and you deserve better than invisible. According to the Style Insight 2024 report, 64% of women over 60 admit they default to oversized dresses for comfort. But here's the kicker. 78% of professional stylists say those dresses make women look older and heavier than they actually are. Why? Because when you lose the waist, you lose the natural balance of your silhouette. I've been there. I used to have this loose shift dress I wore all the time because it felt easy. But one day, during a style workshop, a stylist added the simplest thing, a thin, soft belt. And I swear to you, it was like watching magic in real time. Suddenly, my figure reappeared. My posture changed. Even my face seemed brighter. I didn't lose weight. I just rediscovered my waist. And it's not just me. At that same workshop, there was a lovely 65-year-old woman named Diane. She walked in wearing a boxy dress that completely hid her frame. The stylist gently tied a beige belt around her waist, and the room gasped. One woman literally said, "Diane, you look 10 years younger." And she did. More importantly, she looked confident. And that's the kind of transformation you can't buy off a rack. Here's the thing. You don't need a perfect hourglass figure to celebrate your waist. You just need the right tricks. Soft belts that define without squeezing. Wrap dresses that flatter every curve in the most natural way. Subtle darts that create shape without shouting. I'm trying too hard. And the numbers don't lie. According to the Elegant Over 60 Style report, 70% of women over 60 said they felt instantly more confident just by adding a little waist definition. Even better? 52% said they were told they looked at least 5 years younger. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you saw your waist in a dress and thought, "Oh, there I am"? Have you ever tried adding a belt to that safe, shapeless dress hanging in your closet? And most importantly, what would happen if you stopped hiding and started highlighting the very thing that gives your figure life? Because when you define your waist, you don't just change how you look, you change how you feel. And once you see that transformation, you'll never go back. And if you think a defined waist is powerful, just wait until you see what the right print can do for you. Be honest, ladies, have you ever slipped into a dress covered in giant florals, looked in the mirror and thought, "Why do I feel like I'm disappearing in this?" You're not alone. Here's the truth. Oversized prints and washed out colors don't just overwhelm your outfit. They drown you out. Instead of your beautiful face being the focus, all anyone sees is the fabric. And that's not fair to you, because you should always be the main event. According to the Elegant Over 60 Fashion Survey 2024, 58% of women over 60 admitted they bought big, bold prints hoping they'd hide flaws. But here's what the stylists in that same study said. 73% of those prints actually made women look shorter, wider, And, yes, older. I learned this lesson the hard way. I had this pale pink dress with massive floral patterns that I adored, until I saw a photo of myself at a family gathering. I wasn't the focus. The dress was. A week later, I swapped it for a navy dress with delicate, evenly spaced florals. Suddenly, my skin looked brighter, my shape looked longer, and my friends were asking, "Did you lose weight?" No. I just outsmarted my prince. And I'm not the only one. At a recent style workshop, we met Linda, a 67-year-old who always wore large pastel prints. She swapped one of her old dresses for a small-scale floral print on a dark background. And I swear the entire room gasped. One woman leaned over and whispered, "She looks 5 years younger." And she did. So how do you make prints work for you instead of against you? Choose small to medium-scale prints. They elongate the body and keep the eye moving smoothly. Limit the color palette. Stick to 2 or 3 colors max for a polished, elegant vibe. Give your prints breathing room. Dense patterns can feel busy and chaotic. Space makes everything look refined. Watch your background color. Darker or neutral backgrounds brighten your skin, while pale backgrounds can wash you out. And this isn't just my opinion. The Fashion Psychology Institute found that 61% of women over 60 who switched from big, loud prints to smaller, more refined ones got compliments that they looked younger. Even better, 49% said they instantly felt more confident. Now let me ask you, have you ever worn a dress where the print completely overpowered you? What's one print in your closet you secretly love but suspect might be wearing you instead? And wouldn't it be amazing to see what happens if you swapped it for something that actually frames your face and flatters your figure? Because the right print doesn't just make you look good, it makes you shine. And once you see what a difference it makes, you'll never go back to those wallpaper dresses again. And speaking of details, after we get your prints right, let's talk about something even sneakier. Those overdone design details that can quietly bury your elegance. Ladies, let's be honest. Have you ever slipped into a dress dripping with sequins, ruffles, and embroidery, and then wondered why you seemed to disappear? You're not alone. Here's the truth. When a dress has too many competing details, it doesn't add elegance, it drowns it. Instead of highlighting your natural beauty, it pulls focus away from you. According to the Fashion Over 60 report 2024, 64% of women over 60 admitted they've purchased statement dresses, overloaded with embellishments, hoping to look glamorous. But guess what? Most of them ended up wearing those dresses once, or not at all, because they felt overwhelmed by their own clothes. I saw this happen at a recent styling workshop. A stunning 66-year-old woman walked in, wearing a floor-length gown covered in sequins from neckline to hem. It sparkled like a disco ball, but here's the thing, no one was looking at her. Then we put her in a simple black dress with one elegant drape at the waist, and the room literally gasped. One woman whispered, "She looks so regal." And she did, because this time all eyes were on her, not her dress. And I've been there myself. I once owned a dress embroidered within an inch of its life. I thought it was fabulous. Then I saw myself in a photo, and all I could see was the dress. Not my face, not my smile, just fabric. The next week, I swapped it for a sleek, minimal dress with a single detail at the neckline, and suddenly everyone kept asking, "Did you do something different? You look amazing." Nope. I just stopped letting my clothes shout over me. So what's the secret? Pick one focal point, a graceful neckline, a subtle drape, or a beautiful fabric that speaks for itself. Keep everything else clean. When your dress whispers, you get to do the talking. Remember, less is more. Simplicity isn't boring, it's powerful. And the numbers back this up. A study by Style and Confidence 2024 found that 76% of women over 60 feel more confident in streamlined single-detail dresses. Even better, 54% said they received more compliments on how elegant and refined they looked when they stopped overloading their outfits with details. Now, let me ask you, have you ever worn a dress so busy it felt like it was wearing you? If you could pick only one detail to highlight, your neckline, your shoulders, or the fabric, what would you choose? And wouldn't it be freeing to finally walk into a room knowing you, not your outfit, are what people notice first? Because when your clothes become the frame and you're the masterpiece, everything changes. And speaking of changes, once you've simplified your details, it's time for the next step that will completely transform your style. Finding the perfect fit. Be honest, ladies, how many of you have stared at that little number on the tag and thought, no way, I'm not going up a size? You're not alone. But here's the truth. That number is lying to you. When a dress is too tight, it doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It puts every little pull and wrinkle on display. You end up fidgeting, adjusting, and worst of all, you stop feeling confident. On the other hand, a dress that's too big can swallow you whole, hiding your beautiful shape and making you look and feel older than you are. According to the Style and Fit Report 2024, 72% of women over 60 admit they still try to squeeze into their old size, even if it doesn't fit anymore. But here's the game changer. 58% of stylists say the easiest way to look instantly polished is to go up one size, and if needed, have it tailored. The result? You look like you had it custom made. Take Jennifer, 65. For years, she refused to go above a size 8. Then, during a styling session, I convinced her to try on a size 10. We added one tiny adjustment at the waist, and suddenly she looked incredible. She walked out of the fitting room glowing. People couldn't stop saying, "You look so chic. Did you have that dress made for you?" And I'll be honest, I've been there too. I had this one dress I loved, but every time I wore it, I felt like I had to hold my breath just to zip it up. Finally, I gave in, went up a size and had it altered. And you know what? Not only did I feel amazing, but everyone kept asking me if I'd lost weight. I didn't. I just wore the right size. Here's what I want you to remember. Forget the number. Your mirror is a better judge than any tag. Fit is everything. The right size skims your shape. It doesn't strangle it or drown it. Tailoring is your secret weapon. A little adjustment from a seamstress can turn an off-the-rack dress into couture. And the numbers back it up. According to Tailor's Secret 2024, 83% of women felt more confident after simply wearing the correct size, and 69% said they got more compliments about how elegant and put together they looked, without losing a single pound. So, let me ask you, are you wearing the size that actually fits you, or the one you wish fit you? If you went up just one size and looked 10 times better, would you do it? Isn't it time to stop fighting the number and start dressing for the body you have right now? Because once you embrace the right fit, everything else falls into place. And speaking of the next piece that changes everything, let's talk about necklines. The frame that brings all the focus back to your beautiful face. Let me ask you something, ladies. When was the last time you really paid attention to the neckline of your dress? Not the color, not the fabric, but that simple little cut near your collarbone. Because here's the thing, one small neckline change can completely transform how you look. In fact, according to Fashion Insight 2024, 64% of women over 60 said that switching to the right neckline made them look at least 5 years younger, without changing a single thing about their makeup or hairstyle. Here's the problem. A neckline that's too high, like a crew neck or turtleneck, can make your neck look shorter and your upper body feel heavier. On the other hand, a neckline that plunges too deep often loses that elegant touch and can feel out of place, especially in more sophisticated settings. But the good news? There's a sweet spot. A soft V-neck instantly elongates the neck, slims the face, and highlights the collarbone in the most graceful way. A boat neckline, or bateau, is another beautiful option. It widens the shoulders just enough to balance your figure and gives you that effortless, French-inspired elegance. And then there's the wrap neckline, polished, feminine, and flattering on almost everyone. It's the perfect blend of class and subtle allure. I'll never forget one of my clients, Linda, 66 years old. She'd been wearing crew necks for decades because she thought they were safe. But during a styling session, I convinced her to try on a soft navy V-neck dress. When she looked in the mirror, her jaw literally dropped. Her face looked brighter, her neck looked longer, and her daughter, standing right there, said, "Mum, you look 7 years younger." And honestly, I've been there myself. For years, I stuck with high necklines because I thought they were appropriate. Then one day, I slipped into a simple boat neck top. And just like that, my entire posture felt different. My face looked lifted. It was like I'd found a mini facelift, no surgery required. Now, I want to ask you, are you wearing necklines that truly flatter your face? Or just sticking with what's familiar? Have you ever compared yourself in a crew neck versus a V-neck? If not, what are you waiting for? And if changing one tiny detail could make you look and feel more radiant instantly, wouldn't you at least try it? Because here's the truth. Elegance isn't about redoing your entire wardrobe. It's about mastering these subtle changes. The right neckline doesn't just frame your face, it brings you forward. And once you see what a difference this one detail makes, just wait until you see how everything comes together when we layer all these style secrets into one powerful, age-defying look. So, let's take a step back for a moment and remember what we've uncovered today. We've talked about the 7 most common fashion mistakes women over 50 make, and more importantly, how easily they can be fixed. From dresses that are just a little too short, to outdated designs that quietly age you. From ignoring your waist, to drowning yourself in busy prints. From overwhelming details to wearing the wrong size. And finally, the power of the right neckline. Every single one of these is simple to change. And when you make those small adjustments, something incredible happens. You don't just look younger, you look elevated. You look like the woman you feel on the inside, finally matching the woman everyone sees on the outside. And here's the bigger lesson. Fashion after 50 isn't about hiding your age. It's about honoring it. It's about standing in front of the mirror and saying, "This is me, refined, confident, and unapologetically elegant." You don't need to throw out your entire wardrobe. You don't need to chase every trend. You only need a few smart, intentional choices to transform how you feel every time you get dressed. Because the truth is, you don't have to scream to be seen. At this stage in life, you simply walk into a room, and your quiet, effortless elegance does the talking for you. And if this video spoke to you, if it reminded you that your style has nothing to do with numbers, not your age, not the size on a tag, but everything to do with confidence, I want you to do one thing for me. Type the words elegant and timeless in the comments below. Not just as a phrase, but as a declaration that from this day forward, you're ready to dress, not for the world you used to fit into, but for the extraordinary woman you've become. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, because next time, we're diving into a topic I know you'll love. 5 glasses that will make you look a decade younger. These aren't gimmicks. They're real, practical, and they might just become your new secret weapon. Remember this, my friend. You are not invisible. You are radiant. You are elegant. And when you dress with intention, the world doesn't just see you. It remembers you. Now, let's step into this next chapter. Boldly, beautifully, and completely unforgettable.